Well, good morning. Greetings from Rajasthan, Jaipur. I like the idea that people are the same everywhere. Fundamentally, people are the same. At the heart of the makeup of people are the same. If you take it medically speaking, a doctor in China will treat the same people the same as he would in Rajasthan or in America. The heart is the same, the lungs, etc., are basically the same. So, but so is the heart or the soul of a person. No matter where you go, people just have the same needs, the same need of belonging, same need to be accepted. Also, the same ailments of the heart, a sense of guilt sometimes, a sense of wrong. And that kind of common human makeup is really the heart of missions. I remember someone asked Pastor Matthew, how do you speak to people in missions about Jesus Christ who don't know anything or a little maybe opposed to Jesus Christ? He said, well, we don't start with God, we start with man. That man is the same everywhere. Man has the same needs, same desires, same joys, same sort of sadnesses, taking into account cultural differences. But then he has the same kind of desires and goals and needs. And the one place we have found that meets that needs, Jesus says that I am the living water. I am the bread of life. He who eats of this bread will never hunger. He who drinks this water will never thirst. He who believes in me will never die. These are the great human desires, the insatiable thirst, the insatiable hunger, the fear of death. And these are taken away in Jesus Christ. He's that one source of it. So another, just one like, no matter where you go, like you can find, I love this thought lately, plain living and high thinking are no more. It's a little line from a poem by Wordsworth. Plain living and high thinking are no more. And he says, basically he says, that whole kind of quest for more glamorous, more prestige, etc., can really take away from high thinking, from thinking of the things that are really important in life and matter. And plain living kind of opens up a way for that, a simplicity of life. And sometimes, like, you can think of sophistication of city life or sophistication of modern technology is a help to us. Sure, it is, and it can be useful, but it can also be a huge hindrance to the high thinking, if you want, for a better term. There's a great quote from a Scottish pastor, like it's 150 years old or something, and he's talking about Mary and Elizabeth. And Elizabeth lives in the hill country, and Mary, of course, from the villages of Nazareth. And he says that you see Elizabeth kind of speaking those sort of words of God, and Mary in her just springs up from her these beautiful words of prophecy out of her, because her heart is filled that way. And he says that people who live in the hill country, now he's talking back 150 years ago, and the same as the time of Elizabeth, he says there's a quiet, a simple way of life, and in that way there's a thoughtfulness, a long thoughtfulness, and a kind of rhythm with the rhythms of life and nature. And that quiet spirit, this is the Scottish person saying, that quiet spirit and quiet in mind and that simpler, plainer life, he says the Holy Spirit cannot but come into a life like that and dwell and commune and just really fill it with thoughts that are very rich. Not thinking primarily on an intellectual level, because you wouldn't describe Elizabeth or Mary as intellectuals, but can you find a richer heart and a richer thoughts and quiet, deep, right, homely, pure, divine, even thinking on some of the great things of God, and with a capacity to say, I am going to bear the Son of God, and he is going to be like very magnificent things, and somehow they have a capacity for it. And it really is plain living. That's why, like, places like here in Jaipur or anywhere, this actually is a town outside Jaipur, it's not the main city, any villages, you can find a richness of thought and the capacity for God that it is here. Maybe last thing on this is just, we live now in the modern world. We were thinking a few days ago about Daniel talks about the last empire will be a beast. There will be nothing like it before in all the history, really, of kind of civilizations. And maybe two of the key factors we could say are, a few of them are, one is air travel, not only air travel, but train, car. Up until 1800s, nobody ever went faster than a horse. They thought if you went faster than a horse, you would die with the speed of it. And then now you have nuclear power, you have technology of the internet and this social media, and these changes have challenged our thought. And the last thing is cities where I think 7% of the world population, in you're only talking 150 years ago or so, it was only 7% of the world population. Now it's over 50%, and it's moving to over 70%. And so these changes have really challenged our ability to think. Yes, we can think on sophisticated things, and it has its profit in place, but that sort of dwelling on God, that sort of thought that you'd find in someone like Mary and Elizabeth and people like that, it's still open to us, but and I think we can find it. So and we can find it in places like this and in many other places around the world. Okay, have a good day. Bye bye.